Okay, so we've got our leaflets here that we're going to fold. So we will start off with this one here. So what we've got to get it down to, because you've got folds going horizontal and vertical, what all machines will have to do, like what we call a two-pass. So we have to fold it horizontal first, and then once they come out this, and then we have to do it vertical. Okay, so the machine that we kind of thought would be good was the pharmacy folder, the PH40. The problem with PH40 is that all the fold plates are all manual settings, so you have to find the position, and when you start changing the position, sometimes you can get it slightly out. So the PH40 is kind of better if you've just got one single fold. You're not having to move the folds up and down, but because you're doing a cross fold and a vertical fold, it can be a bit tricky, and you'll spend more time trying to adjust it on the machine rather than folding itself. So this machine is probably slightly better for it because you've got an automatic fold plate, so everything is in the memory of where you want the fold. So you just come along, select the job that you want, and it will memorize where you go in the fold plate itself. Downside to this is we won't be able to get it down to this sort of fold, this small fold. We'll get it down to this size, and then you would have to fold it by hand. The last thing, it will be a quicker process just because you've got to handle this stock anyway, so the speed of it is quite a fast machine, so you'll get it down to quite fast, rather than the PH14 will be a slower machine. It'll get that last fold in, but because it's what it's trying to do, you'll have to put it through twice, and then when it goes through the feeder, because it's trying to separate the sheets, it would go in that way, so it will try and separate the sheets, and it will snag as it goes through and twist the paper. So what you'll find, you'll get a lot of jams on that machine, and you'll just find yourself with more problems, and you'll be wasting a lot of precious time, rather than this machine. As I say, everything's a bit more automatic, and it's a little bit easier to use. It's a lot easier to use. So what I've done is set this job up for you on this fold here. So what we do is I'll put our A5 sheets in, select the type of fold, the size of paper that we want, and the half fold that we want. So this is all preset, so we don't have to measure it. It'll all automatically do it. So we can press our test just to make sure that it's okay. Okay, so we've got our first fold, which is the half fold in the A5. And then we can just press start to our sheet. Okay, so then we can see that we've got our first folds in there. All right, so on the machine here, because it's all automatic in the fold plates itself, then we can go to our next setting on this machine. So we just press the button until we find the one that we want. So we've saved it in as program 2. So then all we have to do now is just put our sheets in the stacker. Got our sheets in the stacker. It's tricky to do this with one hand. Okay, so you can get like about 500 sheets in the stacker itself. Okay, and then we can do a test on it. Okay, and then we can see we've got our folded sheet on it as well. And then we can press start. And then we've got the folds. Okay. So then what I would suggest is do that last fold by hand when it goes into it, when you put it into the packaging. All right. Okay, so that's that fold here. I will do a second video for the other one. It's very similar, the other one as well. Because we're not going to do that last fold across this way, we get the machine to do this fold, and then once it goes into the packaging, that last simple fold would be just faster by hand, just to do that last fold on this one here. But I'll get you a video for that one in a minute.